Hello, everyone. Welcome to another transformative webinar on discovering your personal power. This time, we are going to be focusing on the power of your thoughts. So my name is Maisha Chulani, a theta healer and instructor with more than 10 years of experience. And I have worked with various people with various life goals. So before we start, I want to go ahead and ask everybody to type into the chat box. What is your goal for today? What do you expect to gain or to learn from today's webinar? When we create intentions, it's really an easy way to manifest and create in your life. So let's dive in. Wow, we have people from all over. Welcome. Angie from the Bay Area, US. Abbas from UAE. Welcome, everyone. So Evelyn says to empower herself. And Jeff says, take everything in and apply to areas in my life that need it. Amazing. So please go ahead and type self-worth, another great one. Beautiful. So today we're going to explore and understand how our mind and our thoughts can get in the way or actually help us to benefit us. Let go of negative thinking, a great one. So amazing, and thank you for sharing with us. And we're going to dive in and discover your power to create the life that you love. So in the last webinar, just for a recap, we spoke about empowering tools that I was able to give you that you already possess and that you can use right away. So in case you missed it, we're sharing the private link to the webinar replay in the chat box. So don't worry, you can catch up on that. So in the last webinar, we spoke about 5 ways to awaken your power. We spoke about kinesiology. We spoke about epigenetics, neuroplasticity, law of attraction, and meditation. So today, you are going to understand how your thoughts become things. You're going to discover the missing piece to the law of attraction. And you're going to learn how to change limiting beliefs and, of course, supercharge your affirmations and manifestations. So let's get started. So research has actually shown, okay, that we think a lot of thoughts in a day. So can some of you guess how many thoughts we actually think in a day? Okay, any ideas? Any guesses? Okay. So Ria says 60,000, 70,000, 60,000. Those are big numbers. Anyone else? Any other guesses? 10,000. Okay, good. So these are actually correct numbers, guys. You guys know what you're talking about. You know why you're here. So research has shown that we think 60,000 thoughts in a day. Now, how in the world can we think 60,000 thoughts? It's our heart beating, it's our breathing, okay? It's our conscious thoughts that are a little bit less. So when we are accessing the subconscious mind space, these thoughts that are 60,000 are related to your day-to-day running of your systems. Our actual conscious thoughts are about 3,000. So it's not as big as the 60,000 mark, but it's still quite a big number. So that's a lot of thoughts that we do think on a day-to-day basis. It could be ideas, it could be inner dialogue, it could be a memory, it could be an observation, it could be a judgment, a plan, and many more. And this could be all in one day. So when we talk about the power of our thoughts, we can see how powerful it is because we think a lot of it. We have so many thoughts that many of us look for ways to avoid or stop them, right? Some of these negative thoughts or thoughts that you don't want to be thinking about. Okay, how do we stop them? So to do that or take control of your thoughts, we need to actually be aware of those thoughts, right? So if we're thinking 3,000 thoughts and we want to avoid or stop them, we need to actually be aware of all these 3,000 thoughts that we're thinking. And if we were able to actually sit down and be aware of all our thoughts, these 3,000 thoughts that we think in a day, I don't think we'll really get much done other than that, right? Sounds like a full-time job on its own to sit there and be aware of your thoughts. So that would be a really productive idea, right? But the goal is correct, right? The goal is try to understand and recognize what you're thinking. What are these 3,000 thoughts that you have in your mind? And why that is important is because when we are aware of what we're thinking, we're able to filter. We're able to understand, hey, these are negative thoughts. Hey, these are positive thoughts. Because the more we're aware of it, the more we can discreate or change our thoughts so that we don't create discomfort in our lives. So if we look at this diagram, when you think of thought, it ignites emotions, right? When you think a happy thought, you feel good, and then it affects your energy body, or what we call chakras. Our chakras are whirling vortices, and we want our chakras to be flowing. And we want it to be circulating, we want it to be flowing, because if it isn't, then there's a block. So as we think positive thoughts, feel good, our energy body is flowing, the chi, the ki, the prana is flowing, then we create a reality that is good or happy or easy. Whether it's in our physical body, we feel good physically, or if it's in our physical reality, because if you're feeling good, then you're attracting good situations. Now, on the other end of the spectrum, if we are thinking negative thoughts or limiting beliefs, we feel negative emotion. And that's going to create those blocks that I was talking about in our chakras. And when we have those blocks or these disturbances, it's going to end up creating disease, dysfunction, discomfort, and also you end up attracting negative situations in your life. So if we can understand how to access our thoughts and get to that, then maybe we can find a little bit of comfort in knowing that there is a way to control our thoughts. So the first thing I want you to know is you are the one who calls the law of attraction into action, and you do it through your thoughts. This was very well said by Rhonda Byrne in The Secret. Okay, you are the one who creates the reality that you live in. So if you're the one who creates these thoughts, right, then you are the one who can access it. Now, remember that other people's reality and your reality are two different things. So according to Joe Dispenza, in his book, You Are the Placebo, Making Your Mind Matter, your thoughts and feelings come from your past memories. So these are experiences that you have had previously. So an example would be an experience of where you failed an exam. Now, if you think and feel a certain way, you begin to create what we call an attitude. So if you fail an exam, which is the experience, you start creating an attitude, and maybe your attitude is exams are difficult. Now, attitudes are shortened states of being. If you string a series of attitudes together, then you create a belief. And I know a lot of you have heard of this word belief. Beliefs are more elongated states of being and tend to become part of your subconscious mind, or they're located or stored in that space. So a belief could be, it's hard for me to pass exams. So when you add beliefs together, you create what we call a perception. Your perceptions have everything to do with the choices you make, the behaviors you exhibit, the relationships you choose, because Your perception is what dictates those choices and the realities that you create. So it could be that life is hard. So if exams are hard, life is hard, it's better not to even bother trying. So if you're not conscious of this, your past could be creating your reality instead of you without you being aware of it. This could be why you would unconsciously avoid or push away certain opportunities, scenarios, and relationships. And sometimes we call this self-sabotage. As we spoke about earlier, what we need to understand is our mind, because that is where our thoughts are located, right? So we know that we think a lot of thoughts in a day, and our thoughts, our belief systems, our experiences, they're all stored in the subconscious mind. So if you look at this diagram, the conscious mind is about 10% of our mind space, whereas the subconscious mind is a whopping 90% of your mind space. Your conscious mind, it analyzes, thinks, plans. It's all the short-term memory, whereas your subconscious mind, it's the long-term memory. It's the emotions, the feelings, the habits, relationship patterns, addictions, the involuntary bodily functions, such as your heart beating, your lungs breathing. You don't have to tell it what to do, it just happens. Creativity is also located there. Developmental stages, spiritual connection, and even intuition is part of the subconscious mind state. So our subconscious mind is 90% bigger, obviously 9 times bigger than the conscious mind because of its 90% space. So anything that is stored in the space, right, is when it's stored is when you're sleeping or when you're in deep meditation. When you're in a conscious mind state, which is awake, alert, you're accumulating all of these experiences, and then it goes into your subconscious mind. Now, the key to understanding the conscious versus the subconscious mind is that the subconscious mind works 1,000,000 times faster than our conscious mind. So if you read a book, our subconscious mind, okay, let's say you open the book, you're reading the first page, our subconscious mind has already read the page, but our mind is playing catch up. So our conscious mind is now starting to read the words. So if that's the case, and our subconscious mind is 1,000,000 times faster and more powerful, anything that you put into the subconscious mind space will also show up in your life 1,000,000 times faster. So if our thoughts, our belief systems, our programmings, our experiences are all stored in the subconscious mind, we want to ensure that we have positive thoughts and positive experiences and positive belief systems that's stored in this place. Okay, everybody with me so far? Awesome. So, for example, if you don't have a positive perspective of yourself, right? Self-worth issues. And let's say you fear rejection. Then you go on a date or you go for a job interview. You are not likely to present your best self by acting calm and self-confident. Instead, you're likely to be anxious. You're going to act in a certain way or conscious about yourself. Okay? You're going to act in a way that's more likely to result in rejection because you're not being yourself. Hence, what happens is that it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. So we act in ways likely to bring about what we believe to be true. That's the very definition of creating your reality. And it started with a single thought that was planted in your subconscious mind. So we need to make sure our positive thoughts and experiences and belief systems is full. Okay? When our cup is full, our subconscious mind is full of positive thoughts, it's able to overflow and you're able to create a lot of positive experiences in your life. However, it may not be easy to fill this cup with positivity when that's not what you see or feel around you, is it? So you might have had suggestions or people tell you, think positive instead of thinking negative. Instead of looking at the glass half empty, look at the glass full. See the bright side. Okay? Or they say, just keep saying affirmations every day. Eventually you will feel it. Just say you're good enough, you're good enough, you're good enough, you're worthy, and eventually you will embody these things. Now, there's a little bit of a problem here. I'm saying law of attraction is amazing. Thinking positive is amazing. But if you are in a situation where you experience a loss or grief or a breakup, it's pretty hard to get out of that slump or that feeling. Okay, sometimes you might get annoyed or irritated at people telling you, think positive. It's like, how can I think positive when all I feel are these negative feelings? So, in order for us to understand, okay, that the goal is clear. I want to get from a negative situation and get to a positive. We get that. But it may not be so easy. So the missing piece to all of this, okay? And law of attraction says, think positive, always focus on the positive. If you are able to do that and get out of that slump, that's amazing for you. But not a lot of us are able to do that just by conscious thought. Just like many of you, back then, I knew about vision boards and the law of attraction, but I wasn't getting where I wanted or where I wanted. So what I realized and I learned in Theta Healing is I realized the missing piece that was that I wasn't really exploring my past experiences and traumas that kept me stuck. If you are not going to deal with what caused the situation in the first place, and that's what's stuck in your subconscious mind, your subconscious mind is always going to bring those experiences or those type of experiences into your space. With Theta Healing, I was able to process the deeply rooted parts of me that needed healing. So Theta Healing is a powerful technique. It holds the keys to transforming your subconscious mind and ultimately your life. So we want to be able to harness the power of our thoughts, and definitely Theta Healing is an opportunity for us to do that. So let me explore a little bit more with you, and let's take a deep dive into this method, understanding how it allows you to access the theta brainwave state. Now, why do we want to access that state? Is because the theta brainwave state is the doorway to your subconscious mind. Once we access that space, we can instantly replace limiting beliefs with empowering ones and manifest what you want. So if we can take these positive programmings and put it into your subconscious mind and clear these negative programmings, then remember, you're planting these new positive experiences in your subconscious mind, and the subconscious mind will manifest it in your life 1,000,000 times faster. So when we talk about the theta state or the theta brainwave, we're talking about the different brainwaves that are actually happening at the same time. We all have brainwaves that regulate the frequency of our thoughts. Now, at the current moment, we are in a beta brainwave because we're thinking, we're alert, we're awake, we're concentrating. I mean, I hope all of you are here with me. concentrating. Now, if we slow down our brain waves, we get to an alpha brain wave. This is usually when we are resting, relaxed, very comfortable, okay? Or we are in one of those um, unwinding states. This is the alpha brainwave. Now, Reiki also happens in this brainwave. Then when we slow down our brainwaves even further, now what does it mean when I say from beta to alpha to theta, you're slowing down the brainwaves? That means you're not thinking as much. Right now, all of the information that I'm giving you is just, I'm focusing all that information to you and you're absorbing it. But later on, when you are more relaxed and you're winding down, your brain waves will slow down and there are not so many thoughts in your head. You'll get to an alpha brainwave. And then when you're ready to sleep and heading over to that sleep state, you're accessing the theta brainwave. Okay, so this is light sleep stage or dreaming, a very relaxed, deep meditative state. Okay, commonly referred to as being on autopilot, or as we call it, the doorway of the subconscious mind. So in order to access the subconscious mind, to change our beliefs or implant positive beliefs, we need to access this brainwave. And ThetaHealing, okay, very part of its name, it allows us to get to a theta brainwave. And now we understand why we want to access the theta brainwave, because we're going to open this door of the subconscious mind and put in these positive experiences and thoughts in there. The delta brainwave is deeper sleep. This happens through very deep sleep stages. So by recognizing that if we can access this brainwave, we are able to influence or have influence over our genes, our lifestyle choices, our beliefs, our programmings, and we're going to be able to positively impact not only our lives, but our genetic expression and also our evolution. And as Vianna Stibel says, the founder of ThetaHealing, imagination ignites creation. So the theta waves are the dominant frequency in healing. In high creative states, remembering emotional experiences, good or bad, memory retrieval, and encoding new memories into thought. This is from Caroline Lee. It's in this state that the world's most awe-inspiring inventions and innovations have been born. Have you experienced when you go to bed and you wake up in the morning and all of a sudden you had this amazing idea? It was like, whoa, how did I think of that? And it usually happens when you wake up and you come up with these amazing solutions or great ideas. So that's because you're accessing the theta and delta brainwaves. So by embracing the power of imagination, we can tap into our innate creativity and bring forth groundbreaking ideas. So if we can access more of our subconscious mind, the more we are able to retrieve a lot of cool information. And when we learn to use our imagination more constructively, our imagination is in our subconscious mind, we can actually direct its creative force without the censorship of our logical mind. So when we are able to do that, it's going to be able to free us from the limitations that keep us stuck in our current reality. Okay, limitations of beliefs and negative programming and all these limitations. Imprinting new ideas and beliefs into our subconscious mind during the theta state allows us to create mental images, emotions that become a part of us. And with practice, these new ideas become ingrained, empowering us to take bold action and bring our dreams into reality. Okay, so we know we want to access the subconscious mind. We know through this theta state, or through slowing down your brainwaves to a theta state, it will create that type of environment so that we can make changes. So changing your limiting beliefs is really the fastest and easiest way. Every issue has a root cause where it began, right? It started with a thought. We have negative beliefs that we've learned and we carry, which later create negative experiences and negative situations in our lives. If left unchecked, it's when we think that life is just like that. Relationships are just like that. People are just like that. If you saw betrayal growing up in your parents' relationship, you just think people cannot be trusted, or betrayal is normal. And if betrayal is normal, you're going to create situations for you to be in positions where you no longer want to be in relationships where people can betray you. So you end up again self-sabotaging, or create situations where you're alone or your relationships don't work out. And when that happens, you're actually giving your power away to those thoughts, those negative beliefs. You become powerless. So by changing the negative into positive ones through theta healing, we can actually change the kinds of experiences we attract in our lives. So once these programmings or beliefs are identified, like programmings of keeping a person sick or unhappy, the theta healer, or through the theta healing process, which you can learn, we pull them out from the subconscious mind and replace them with appropriate positive programmings or belief systems. And what ends up happening is we end up reprogramming. We change the neural pathways and the connections that we have made in the brain. So our student, she's also an instructor now, Jelly Victor, had a theta healing session with me at the third eye to clear all her negative beliefs, her shock, her trauma, and brought up by the pandemic, as well as forgive herself for the self-deprecation. Okay, so she actually came in and worked on all of these different layers. And with theta healing, you do not need to repeat affirmations daily, again and again and again and again. And hopefully this affirmation will finally sink. You simply have to download them. Downloads are an amazing way to open up receptors in your mind space so that you're able to accept all these beautiful, positive feelings and emotions. Would you guys like to try receiving some downloads? So all you have to do in order to receive these downloads is just say yes wherever you are. Okay, you don't have to unmute. You can just say yes wherever you are. Are we ready? So please close your eyes. Take a deep breath in.
Yes.
So can I teach you God's perspective, understanding, and definition of knowing that you are able to create your reality? That it is easy for you to change your life, change your reality, change your situations around you, that you know how to, when to, that it is possible, and that you have God's perspective on this. Please say yes. Can I also teach you what it feels like to know that it is easy for you to be able to move out of your limiting beliefs and limiting programmings to move into more positive and empowering programmings, so that you are able to manifest and bring into your life what is truly meant for you, that you are worthy of everything that you desire. Please say yes. So can I also teach you what it feels like to know that you are worthy? You are worthy of more. You are worthy of receiving more. You are worthy of accepting more, that you are worthy of creating and having more in your life. Please say yes. So can I teach you what it feels like to know that it is possible to take the next steps, that you know how to take the inspired action needed for you to get out of the space that you're in order to step into alignment with your purpose and what you're meant to do? Please say it.
Yes, yes, yes.
Beautiful. Did you guys enjoy that? Awesome. So those are downloads. What I did was I opened receptors in your mind so that you are now able to create those positive experiences for you. So the next step that you need to do is to just be able to receive. That's it, which you all did by saying yes. So you will learn how to do this in a theta healing class as well. You are going to also be able to learn how to supercharge your manifestations. So not only create and manifest, we are going to supercharge it through these classes that we teach. So Chrissy shares, manifestation works. I learned how to manifest in my basic DNA class and in January, and went through it again in advance and dig deeper classes. And some of the items in her manifestation list were car, domestic and international travel, sales targets for her business. And she added that as for the business, we're nearing target sales that I wrote in my manifesting list, which initially was something I thought was impossible. But in theta healing classes and sessions, we cleared those blocks and those fears. And now I'm enjoying the things I manifested during the start of the year. Okay. And she went to travels to Europe and a couple of different places as well. So it can be so quick. In fact, I put a bunch of things on my list at the beginning of the year, and a lot of them I've already ticked off. Another testimonial is my friend did it with you. She manifested her partner. It's a theta healing session, right? Yes, correct. Okay, she just got married. So this is a session that was taken. And when we clear our limiting beliefs about ourselves, love, relationships, everything that we want to attract falls on our laps because we're no longer pushing it away. We are no longer sabotaging. Okay, we can attract our soulmates, our partners effortlessly. So the quality of our thoughts determine the quality of the areas in life. And with theta healing, you can target the deepest limiting beliefs that affect each or many areas and create the changes you want for in your life. And you can do it faster, and it can be so easy. You can change beliefs and programmings relating to yourself, your life, your career, relationships, abundance, wealth, physical health, possibilities, and of course, your connection with God and the divine as well.
Maisha, can
Yes,
we have a question though regarding that? So Michael
sure.
asked, could theta healing work on eye issues?
Of course, everything is a manifestation of our thoughts. Okay, so our thoughts create our reality. So if you have issues with your eyesight or with eyes, then we can work on unraveling it and finding out the root cause of it. And it can definitely improve and work as long as we get to the root cause and as long as you're open and receptive to the healing. Okay, theta healing can work on physical issues, it can work on emotional issues, it can work on many different areas. Because at the end of the day, Michael, when we think stressful thoughts or we have stressful experiences, it compromises our immune system. And when it compromises our immune system, then our physical body gets affected. So when our physical body gets affected, that's how deterioration happens. So if we can unravel and uncover and get to the bottom of why we created it in the first place, then we can create that in our reality. We can undo it. Okay? Hope that clarifies your question. So this is why, and Michael's question is very timely with why we need to understand how to do theta healing on ourselves. Okay? We encounter situations on a day-to-day basis. And if we do not or are not able to emotionally regulate, if we are not able to understand how to deal and tackle with these emotions and situations in a more practical, more empowering manner, you are going to create more negative programmings and belief systems and create more of that in your life. So the webinar is just an hour introduction to what you will learn for 3 to 4 days in the basic class. So in the basic class, you will receive comprehensive training, guidance, practical applications of the theta healing techniques. It's a space where you can fully embrace your role as co-creator. You are actually creating together with creator of your reality and expand your capacity to facilitate healings, transformations for yourself as well as others. So what to expect in a basic class is you are going to learn how to heal your body. Okay, and some of these healings can be instant. You are going to learn how to attract opportunities for success easier, improve relationships, heal past ones, improve your mental and emotional stability, free yourself from past karma, challenging situations, get spiritual guidance and answers, heal yourself and others, clear negative energies from your body and mind, and become a healthier and happier and better person. There are so many ways in which theta healing has benefited me throughout my over 10 years of my journey in this healing modality. Well, one thing I really appreciate and attribute to this is that now my life is so much more easier than it was back then because I have the tools to deal with whatever I want. And however it comes up and shows up, I have the tools to heal, to get back into a happier place. Okay, it doesn't mean that I don't have issues in my life or issues don't show up, which it does sometimes, very rarely. And these issues aren't overwhelming because I know, okay, how do I deal with this? There must be belief systems. I must have attracted this. Let me use what I've learned and heal it so that I can change the reality, change whatever is no longer serving me in my life. There are close to, I think, about 1 million students worldwide now. This is one of our students who's a military officer, Sherry. The basic DNA class now works like a magical pen that enables me to rewrite my undesirable life stories into chapters of triumph. It's a lifetime handy tool that I now use every day to create the best version of myself, for myself and for the people I show up for. It helped me draw the path in finding my way to love myself and my life. What a beautiful testimonial. Attending this class made me realize a lot of things about myself in many ways I didn't expect. I joined the class with the objective of just learning techniques, but I left the class with a new set of eyes, changing the way I look at life. I felt overflowing relief and love within me, which gave me confidence in moving on with whatever lies ahead. This is from Catherine. So Basic DNA is not just a class. It is a transformative journey that will empower you to create the changes that you want in your life. So embrace the magic of theta healing and embark on this extraordinary path of self-mastery and limitless possibilities. So I encourage you to enroll now. The tuition fee for a basic DNA class across the board is $400. So anywhere that you do it, the minimum required is $400. And we have a special offer to the webinar attendees. You can enroll for only 18,000 pesos instead of the $400, which is 22,500, and save 4,500 pesos. This is also available for 3-month installment plans because we want everybody to be able to do it, afford to take this class. This offer is valid until 31st of August only. Okay, and you can register now on this link. You can also take a screenshot or ask in the chat box if you have any questions. And you not only get a special rate, you also get these webinars worth 2,000 pesos. So you can get a webinar by Sinai Gurnamal called Increase Your Psychic Powers and Intuition and Clearing Negativity, How to Be Positive in Difficult Situations. And the power is yours. Promise. This is a promise that we are giving to you to enroll with confidence. You are guaranteed that if you feel the class is not empowering within the first 2 hours, simply inform me and exit the class and get 100% refund. Okay? And I want to say that no one has ever left the class, but we're putting this out there as a promise. So will you stay where you currently are? Or will you invest in your self-empowerment right now? Think about it. So that concludes today's webinar. And before we end, please feel free to ask any questions and share in the chat from a scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being the highest based on how empowered do you feel? How excited do you feel? How empowered did this webinar make you feel according to the goal that you set at the start? Thank you again, and feel free to connect with us for the webinar replay if you'd like to watch it again. So I'll be waiting for some questions that we may have. Any questions?
Yes, it's the eye issue. It's related to genetic disorder. So would Theta Healing go to the root cause of it?
So Theta Healing works on your core genetic history and also soul level. So we can definitely work on genetic issues as well.
All right. Okay.
So maybe you would like to start with a discovery session and check us out, and then we can discuss further, Michael.
Right. Okay.
Okay. So thank you again for joining me this evening. And if you have any questions, feel free to message the Theta Wellness. So thank you, everyone. Have a lovely evening.